cool.
Are we going?
Yeah, we're going. Yeah, we can just talk about anything we want.
Yeah, well, when I watched it, when I watched that doco from that LTN Childs last night, the night before, it just gave me like such an urgency because I could hear in his voice the like gravity of what he was saying and just how thoroughly he had researched it and made this documentary exposing these Freemasons and exposing this cult basically and who's behind it. Because nobody knows in that Freemasonry world. You only know to that level, and then the next level, once you make those covenants and sign those oaths, you can go further up. But they will keep people pressed down. Like there's people that are at 32 degree level, they will never get to 33 because the people that are at 33 know that those people are still believing in Jesus Christ and God, you know what I mean? Or whatever other religion that they it's like Freemasonry basically takes on whatever religion that's in that city or that country, you know.
Don't they believe that it just has to be like a higher power thing?
Yeah, I think so.
A neutral.
I think so, but they just deceive, like a lot of Christians are deceived by it, thinking like, because like they do, it's like that duality, they do good, hospitals, orphanages, and you know, like all this good, but on the other hand, they're doing all the like the bad stuff, you know, pornography and like sex trafficking and all the rest of it. So it's like what's it called? The Hegelian.
I haven't heard of that.
Concept or what? It's not concept. The Hegelian dialect or something, where the dialectic, where they problem solution. So they cause the problem, like pandemic. They're saying there's this big pandemic, but they've got the solution pre-planned, mate. That vaccine they've had probably for you know, and the PCR tests, they were trading those PCR tests since 2017 apparently or something, you know, on the stock market. So there's problem and solution, and that's what they do. They cause the problems and then they make the solutions. And these Christians that are involved in the Freemasonry, they basically don't know what they're involved in until they get to 33 degree, which they won't.
It's like a lifelong thing, yeah.
Because they're too. They think they're like. They basically think they're idiots, you know, so they don't let them go up any further. But yeah, just the weight of what he showed, all of like the Hollywood movie stars, like just like literally 100, and the popes and the presidents and all doing the Freemasonry handshake with their thumb goes over there, and they like kind of do like the thumb over like that. You know, our politicians. Pope, everyone, mate. Basically, in the last 50 years, they used like what was called Freemasonry demolay. So they like indoctrinated and trained up boys from the age of 7 to the age of like 18. And those kids, those boys, would then be put into positions like, you know, you want to be a cop. You want to go in the army, you want to go into politics, you're really smart, you go to politics, you go here, you take over bloody binnies, you know, you go in, and they put everywhere around the world it's happened.
Like a skull and bones thing.
Yeah, well that's part of it. Skull and bones is part of it. All these secret societies are really quite interlinked. They're different arms of the same, different wings of the same bird basically, yeah. Skull and Bones, Club of Rome, Illuminati is like, well, it's Jesuits are under the Catholic Church, then the Illuminati was created by the Jesuits, and then Freemasonry is the next level under that, and then Skull and Bones, Club of Rome, and all those other Fabian socialists.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, it's all the same thing. It's basically like communism, and that's what they're doing. That's why they destroyed the economy problem and the solution. And the reason they really like need to destroy the economy is they're blaming like the COVID for it and the lockdowns, but they're the ones that started the fraud in the beginning, the usury fraud, by putting out like money, which like, say they put out $1 million in the beginning into society, and they charged interest, so that 1.1 million had to be paid back. There's only $1 million out there, so not everyone could pay back their loan, because there's not enough money out there to pay back the $100,000 interest.
So the Reserve Bank that generates the money, they distribute it. Sort of thing, and you got to generate money back to pay us.
You got to pay it back. But people never can pay back the interest because there's never enough money in the system. Always people have to refinance, which is perpetual, keeps going. And those people like people that are like they borrow money, then the money, the principal they borrow, the money that's coming back, they then refinance and loan money on that like multiple times. There's nothing back in it. There's no gold back in it. It's just a number on a screen. They make it up out of thin air.
I heard that they took money off the gold standard and stuff like that.
Well, back in like, I think it was Roosevelt who made all Americans like hand their gold in. Everybody had to hand their gold in. So they said they needed it for the war or some crap. I don't know. I haven't really investigated why I looked into that, but the fact is they all had to give their money, their gold in, and then there was no more people. No one had any gold. So there's like no gold back in the dollar anymore. The fiat currency is going to crash pretty soon, I reckon.
So what are your thoughts about it all going digital money and stuff?
Yeah, well, it's going to be blockchain, like, for sure. Whether, I don't know what it's going to be like. You know, Bitcoin will maybe survive, it may not. Ethereum or one of the others may be, or it may be like the government, like China's made their own
money,
their own coin, digital coin, and you know, China is like the major kind of communist country at the moment, behind probably like. I mean, this is the thing. Like, people think that like there's all these different countries and we're all like, you know, allies and enemies and whatever. But behind it all, they're all allies. They're all on the same side of evil. It's just evil and good. And the powers that be, these elite, which are like, you know, they're right coming forth and saying what they want to do. They've been saying it for like decades. Like, you know, what's his name? George Bush's dad, saying we will have a new world order. We will succeed. You know, Rockefeller's saying the same thing. So yeah, their plans are just, it's too far gone now. There's no stopping it. No way, no how. The end of the world's coming, bro. 100%. That's what I believe. You'll see it in the next 3 years, mate. 100%. There's no stopping it.
Yeah, because the economic really damage of this pandemic is just devastating.
Yeah. It's that, and then like they're just going to keep it going. They're not going to stop. Like, I think I just posted this morning, just before.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, there's a picture there, and it shows like that's a massive. You can't probably see it. Massive graph of all the different things that have killed everyone. Right down the bottom, that's this year. That little tiny little thing that's only like a millimetre compared to that, which is like, you know, 10, 15 centimetres. That little millimetre is.
Yeah, got it. Oh, it's one of those mornings for me. Do you mind if I film?
No, it's a waste of time. Yeah, like I've been posting for like 14 months at least. And each time, like even like now, yesterday, like, and I'm said I'm not posting anymore, I'm done. There's this ex-cop that comes and posts a post. He's an ex-copper, and he's like, he's laid it all out, you know what I mean? Laid it all out in like half an hour, and he's at the police station, he's going through it all, like exposing it, saying like, here's all the stuff, here's this, you know, go and arrest fucking politicians, these people that are doing this. And I think surely, like, if I post that, like, you know, people will like really, how can they deny it? Yeah, it's a waste of time. Right? I didn't post it. It's total waste of time. People are either in denial or they're just ignorant. Some people are probably just not smart enough to get it. I get that. It's not, it's not their fault. You know, people that are born, you know, they aren't smart. But the rest of the people, like, have just got cognitive dissonance or...
Thanks for that. Sorry about that.
Or contempt prior to investigation, you know. They don't look into it. I get there.
Veggie wrap. So I forgot to transfer money over this morning. That's why I'm like, fuck.
That's alright. Yeah, so...
Just hungry.
I'm just in so much pain over it. Like I'm done. I'm letting it go, mate. From now, I'm just got to look after myself. Here's another thing: risk benefits analysis. Will it stop you getting it? If you get the vaccine, will it stop you getting COVID? No. Will it stop me spreading it? No. How long has it been safety tested? Has it been safety tested for humans? No. No. Has there been any deaths and injuries due to it? Yes. Are the makers liable for any damages? No. Like, it's pretty obvious you shouldn't get the bloody vaccine.
Where's that from, though?
I don't know. I think someone's just made it up. When I say made it up, I mean
they got it from some.
Yeah, there's like people. There's no. The governments and the CDC and everything have said that stuff. You know, like you're going to have to still. Here's the thing. On an American freeway, vaccinated or not, please keep using masks.
Yeah.
Because you get a vaccine doesn't mean you can't have a mask. You don't wear a mask anymore. And I found this one really interesting. I don't know if you can see that. But it's like,
I can see it.
It says Mickey in the reflection in the cup.
Wicked. Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah. Fuck.
And like, you know, that's because Walt Disney was a Nazi.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
And then Operation Paperclip, they brought over like 1,600 Nazis at the end of the war.
I've heard this theory, like with World War II, Washington DC got the scientists and Hollywood got the Jews and stuff. So there's like, you know what I mean? Like that East and West thing.
Yeah, it's not a theory, it's facts. Like you Google it, it's there. You can find it's fact.
The Capitol Hill got all the scientists and government people from the Nazis, and Hollywood got all the
CIA as well. They formed the CIA as well.
Yeah, and Hollywood got all the whatever Jews and stuff as well at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's where like so that's where MK Ultra came from, and like the mind control stuff, Manchurian. Mate, like it goes so deep. I'll send you another documentary I watched 2 days ago. Holy crap!
What's that about?
It was about cloning. Oh, mate, like I mean, people won't believe it. It's too much. Like, that's what I put it under the category. Like most people won't believe this. That's why I saved it under. That's the first video that I put in that category because most people won't believe it. But if you listen to the guy that's interviewing, like you're interviewing me, he's interviewing someone. If you can't tell that guy is genuine, there's something wrong with you, mate. Like he's just what's his angle? He's just telling it how it is. You can just and what he's saying, mind blowing, bro. He reckons they've been cloning people since 1939. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, mate. It seems to me like it's quite possible when you see Britney Spears and Hillary Clinton and all these other people when they wig out. Yeah. Have you seen the footage of that?
I've seen some footage of celebrities doing that.
That's because they're clones and the like the programming that they put into them, it's just like They may not be clones. I don't know. They may just have like a lot of trauma from like the mind control techniques they used in MK Ultra, and they basically fracture a child's mind, and like torture them and like abuse them until like they just got different parts of their brain where they can like have multiple personalities basically, and they use them for all sorts of things. But yeah, man, like 59, that was when NASA was formed from those scientists, Werner von Braun and all those other scientists that formed NASA. 1958, in the Encyclopedia Britannica, it said that there was an Antarctica expedition where they found a dome over the Earth. There's a guy goes into a library in America and gets an old Encyclopedia Britannica from 1958, opens it up, he's filming it, Antarctica, and then reads it, and it says that we found a dome over the Earth at this point. That's been taken out of the Encyclopedia Britannica from 1959. They formed NASA. 1959 they also made the Antarctica Treaty, so no one's allowed to go to Antarctica anymore and privately and have a look around there. You can't go there.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
there's a treaty. All the governments around the world, major 49 countries, signed that treaty that no one can go there. Why is that? And like, I mean, that ties into the flat Earth theory. I 100% believe the Earth's flat now. I mean, like, I used to say like to people like that were Christians that would, you know, say the Earth's flat. I'd be like, man, you people, yeah, like, you know, obviously they're not too bright, and I used to think you're making us normal Christians look really bad. Like the Earth's flat. I mean, come on. But like seriously, once I looked into it, because I had contempt prior to investigation, I hadn't looked at it, hadn't looked at any of the evidence, and I'd already made up my mind due to cognitive dissonance. Yeah. Because I just got told when I was in school the Earth's round and blah blah blah. Like, what proof do I have of it? Mate, once I looked into it, honestly, they've got cameras now, Nikon 900. If you Google or YouTube Nikon 900 stars or planets, they can zoom in. You can see the stars through these cameras really close. They don't look anything like what NASA tells us they look like. They're just like balls of energy. And then like you can Google or YouTube like Nikon 900 cameras over 50 miles. They zoom across like 50 miles and you can still see the other country across the ocean. You know, like you can see Canada from one side to the other. It should be like 6 miles over the curve. How can you see it? Same as when the boats go over the curve, they reckon they go over the curve out. What's happening is they just go out of our perspective. We can only see to 5 miles off the horizon. That's how far we can see, basically. Once they go past that 5 mile part, they look like they're going over the curve, but they're just going down like that and disappearing. Not over the curve, they're just going out of view. You can't see that far. These cameras, they just zoom in on them. They're right there. Clear as day. All that stuff convinced me, but there's a whole heck of a lot more. Like, heaps more. Dude gets on a plane with a level. He's got a spirit level, sits the level up on his seat there, and has his phone like and sets that up in his tray or whatever, and just films that level for 24 hours as he's flying. You see the level goes up like when the plane goes and it tilts and the bubble goes like that. Then when it gets up high, 20,000 feet, it's like levels off and the level's level, and it stays like that the whole way. They're just going level.
That's
They're
cool.
not tilting like down over the curve a little bit every 5 kilometres.
I'd love to see that video too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all on my page.
Check it out, man.
Yeah, man. It's like heaps of stuff there. Sorry, I'm rambling on a bit.
No, it's good. I'm actually really enjoying listening.
Yeah. So, they had to make the Earth or the universe billions of light years, 14.9 billion light years. Like, so their theory is there was nothing and nothing exploded. There was like a single point and then it exploded. and created 14.9 billion light years of universe, because their theory of evolution takes billions of years. Because the Bible says God created the earth in 6 days, which it says also in another part, a day with God, if you're with God in eternity, a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day. So it might have been over 6,000 years he created it. 6 days, 6,000 years. That's actually a parallel too, like, because he said the thing that has been is the thing that shall be done. There's nothing new under the sun. He spoke the end from the beginning, it also says. So if he spoke the end of the world from the beginning, it's talking about 6 days creation, and it says a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, 1,000 years is a day. So it could be 6,000 years he created it. The thing that has been is the thing that shall be done. It's a parallel. So we've had Adam to Abraham, 2,000 years, Abraham to Jesus, 2,000 years, Jesus till now, pretty much 2,020 years. We're approaching the day of the Lord, which is the 1,000-year rule and reign of Christ here on earth, it says.
Yeah.
That's what it says in the Word. The day of rest. He rested on the 7th day. So yeah, I think that's coming very soon, bro. I think we've got like maybe 3 or 4 years before like it's just like, I mean, I don't know, it's going to be full on, man. People just can't see, but it's happening so quickly and people just don't seem to be seeing it. People, what's happening is like they're actually programmed and brainwashed by watching TV. So the program on TV programs you. If you keep watching something like and keep getting told by news, media and everything and movies, it basically like brainwashes you. They are in control of the narrative.
So I should ask, is the sun in your eyes or anything?
No, it's all good.
You're comfortable sitting here and all that?
Take my glasses off.
No, I was just making, I'm like...
No, that's cool.
I'm fine, but I fell on my bike. I'm like, oh, hang on, yeah.
You want to move?
No, I'm like, if you want to move, we'll move, but I'm fine. Yeah.
So, yeah, like, programming, bro. Like, that's how they, like, basically, like, have everyone... They're just fooled, mate.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos on that. They tested with the cigarette companies or something as well. That was like their test period, whatever, test dummy.
Yeah. Mate, they control like the major corporations. They control the media. These people like Bilderbergs. Like here in Australia, we've got News Corp. So that's like Rupert Murdoch. He's a Bilderberg. So he's one of the elite people in the world with kings and queens and other like of the billionaires and that control. They actually control the World Economic Forum. If you go to WE Forum, FORUM, We Forum, World Economic Forum.org, We Forum, the whole plan's laid out there, mate. You get the app and you can like go on the app and it's a square thing like that and it's got in the middle COVID. And it's got all these lines and dots around the outside, and then they all get linked to another lot of dots all around the outside, and it'll have like, global governance. And if you click on that, it lights up the ones that are linked to that on the outside there, those maybe 6 or 8 things, and then that brings them in, and then they link to another. It just goes like 200 levels deep. But COVID's in the centre. COVID's the centre of the whole plan. To just take over, mate. And like, it's all there. It's all part of Agenda 21 and Georgia Guidestones. They want to kill off 6 billion people, 7 billion people.
What's your thoughts on the Georgia Guidestones?
It's pretty interesting that the people that they're probably Freemasons like who put it there. They cost a whole heck of a lot of money to do it. I can't remember the amount of money, but like up in the millions. And that's their plan laid out in stone, like, you know what I mean? The first thing is maintain the population of the earth at 500 million. They want to kill off 6 billion people, 7 billion people, whatever it is.
Is there something about like Denver Airport or something like that?
Yeah.
It's Denver, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Like
all those weird paintings and stuff. Yeah.
There's probably like, I mean, this is where that guy talks about the cloning that I talked about. He said like they mention like these you've heard of DUMBs, DUMBs?
No, I haven't heard of them.
Deep underground military bases. So like now like these elite have these tunnelling machines, mate, and they're like the size of that building there, mate. Like if you made that a circle there, that's how big they are. And they tunnel into the ground, and then they build military bases underground. They've been doing it for like decades, tens of decades probably. And like like these military bases is where they make basically big cities underground. And it's like it starts to get like people just go, oh, mate, this guy's lost the plot. But you can go and investigate it. I can show you like 200 pictures of it. Posted it on my page on Facebook. Just hundreds and hundreds of pictures of these underground military bases. Massive. There's big ones in Sydney, like big underground caverns in Sydney, where like they built them for the war, that we could go underground. You can fit 20,000 people there. They're massive, and that's where they traffic. That's where they traffic. How they traffic children. Apparently, they got like the technology that they've got is like they call it alien technology. What the aliens are, they're demons. I mean, they're from another realm that came to this earth early on in the piece. I mean, Satan was here he got cast down here, and the technology that they got from them is how they built the pyramids. Because like we couldn't build pyramids in this day and age with all the technology we've got now. We would have trouble building the pyramids, bro.
Yeah, how come?
They're so massive. We just don't have the means to do it. So how did they do it back then? How did they cut those rocks, those stones, those blocks so precisely, dead flat, that they fit together perfectly? They're massive. But they fit together without a millimetre of a gap. So like, how do you cut that by hand? You can't. I mean, there's ways like that. People show that they did. They could break a rock that big. But mate, how do they gold plate Tutankhamun's mask or all these other things? They need to electroplate it. They need electricity. I reckon the pyramids were like made, and they created electricity. That's what the pyramids were for. Pyramids used to be coated with white limestone, and they would conduct energy like a Tesla coil out of the air, and then they had all these pathways like coming in on the pyramids that like generated. It's like a generator almost to produce electricity. That's how they were able to cut the.
Yeah, I've heard that the pyramids were built like by aliens and stuff, or alien style, whatever. Yeah. But I haven't looked really beyond that, so yeah.
I haven't looked like into it because there's like, how can you, all that whole history, there's nothing much there. I mean, they just wiped it all. They wiped it all. I mean, the only history that we've got really, like the Bible says that there was like giants in those days. You can research that. It's like tons and tons of bones and skulls and so on that people have found, on Earth that are just giants, like 7, 8, 9 foot and taller people. And that was like, they reckon that was because, or the Bible says that the sons of God slept with the daughters of men. So that the angels had sex with women and created what we call the Nephilim.
Nephilim. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, Nephilim.
Yeah.
It's in Genesis 6.
Yeah. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, Nephilim. And that's why, like, because Satan wanted to try and destroy the DNA of humans and the lineage all the way down to David and to Jesus. He wanted to destroy the DNA. He wanted to corrupt the DNA. So he put that into the DNA so that he could destroy the DNA of humans, so that Jesus could never come and save us. Yeah, so that's why God ended up flooding the earth to destroy them. I don't know how they like. I mean, yeah, it's complicated. I don't know how they got there after the flood, but that's what these apparently like. I mean, whether that, I don't know, there may be just these demons are possessing these people. Did you see that video that came out a couple of days ago in the Vatican? In the Vatican, there's all these popes walking along, and like, well, not popes, but bishops and whatever, walking along with their hats and everything, all with their little staff things, and in the lineup, there's this thing. It's like an alien-looking thing, you know, like it's not human, whatever it is, and they're like letting people see it.
Yeah.
And then they go to the Pope, and he's standing at that window, and there's a little girl next to him, and the little girl manifests in front of him, like, and her tongue goes, and her tongue like curls like, and goes up and up there, and then her eyes just go.
No, I haven't seen that video. I'll check that out.
It just came out. It just came out in the last couple of days, man. I'm pretty sure. I've seen it twice now. Two different things. I'm not sure if I can find it. Search this works. Alien in Vatican. I saved one of the videos. It'll be on there. I can send it to you anyway.
Yeah, of course.
It's pretty freaky. But that's the thing. Like, people just go like, "Oh, anyone can put anything on YouTube." Looking after myself, you know, like I feel like I'm in critical condition spiritually. I've just been feeding on all that crap out there about, you know, the last corona and all the bullshit out there, and I haven't been putting enough good stuff in here and in here. So spiritually, like, my heart's a bit empty and like.
Yeah. Oh, it's just for him, so.
Yeah, so like I just feel like I need to just get myself nothing planned this week except just prayer, meditation, connecting with people and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So what have you been reading lately anyway?
Eh?
What have you been reading lately anyway?
I've just been reading the Bible really. Like I've got 2 other books I'm reading as well. One's Refinding Joy, and the other one's I've just started. Like, my pastor gave it to me. It's called something like You Need to Wake Your Brain Up or something, or it's a psychologist. I think she's like Christian as well, so she like shows the link between science and, like, you know, what happens in your brain, like when you're reading the Word and renewing your mind to the Word, creating new neural pathways. So like I'm focusing on all that crap and worrying about all that crap, and then I'll have those neural connections in my brain, you know, the synapses connections that are worry and fear. But if I start like saying, no, I'm not going to worry about that, everything's going to be alright, I'm going to get through this, blah blah blah, and positive faith-filled statements, then I start to like build neural pathways in my brain that say it's going to be alright, I'm going to get through it. And you can't really be like thinking, oh, I'm going to be alright, I'm going to get through it and I'm screwed as well, you know what I mean? Like either one or the other will have to like connect. And if you keep connecting the same positive thoughts and that, and then you create like neural pathways that your brain starts thinking more positive, I guess. So that's the plan. There's a lot more to it. I haven't even read the book yet, but that's all I know about it from like my mum studied neuro-linguistic programming and so just like
I watched some of that video the other you sent me too. The X Factor guy, whatever.
Oh yeah. It's a while.
Yeah.
It's like 5 hours.
Yeah. I had to watch it in parts.
Yeah. I wasn't aware, like, I mean, I knew, like, some stuff, but I wasn't aware, like, you know, like, there's pictures and you see every single, pretty much Hollywood movie stars doing that one, you know, turn the blind eye, doing that pose, like,
Yeah,
silent,
yeah.
and then doing the 666, and like the horns, and the one where they put their hand in the jacket. Pretty much all of them doing all of those 4 or 5 poses. You know, like, people don't realise what that means. Well, maybe like symbology is where they're big, mate. Like, they're big on symbology, you know. And how that connects to Freemasonry and Satanism. Like, even Hollywood, mate. If you go down Hollywood Boulevard, they've got their names in a pentagram, all of them.
Star.
Yeah, the pentagram, that's a star, yeah, like, and they basically sold their souls to gain fame and fortune, you know. It talks about it in the Bible. Jesus said, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? So, like, they make covenants, they make blood covenants, and they do shit, like bad shit, drinking kids' blood and whatever else. I mean, even Mel Gibson, I've watched a few Mel Gibson things where he's, like, exposed to a lot of that stuff. But they do. That's what they do. That's how they become famous. Like that old Tim Childs, he won the you know the X Factor. If you remember, like in other X Factors or whatever, like sometimes the person that wins it doesn't become famous. Like the person that came second or whatever, or third. I'm pretty sure like it's because that person that came first. Well, we're not going to make those covenants, mate. They won't come under the thumb. Can't believe anything. You know. Oh, I know. It's frustrating.
So you got so far, we're going at half an hour.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. Yeah.
Sweet.
I've been checking out this guy called Jonas Makers.
Right.
He's been labelled like the grandfather of avant-garde filmmaking. So I've been watching a lot of his videos.
Yeah.
Yes, he got one of the. He was alive when the Super 8s originally came to the public.
Yeah.
And he just bought one and started recording stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been checking it out. He's got like hours and hours and hours of like just daily life stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to always do.
Yeah.
Start capturing his life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just not. Yeah, like I like how I've got footage and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's have it out there.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
What got you into all this stuff anyway?
Well, when like the COVID hit, I was like telling people, mate, I was like messaging my wife saying, don't let your brother go to his wife's house and then come back to your house. Everyone needs to stay where they are for like a couple of weeks or, you know, whatever. There's a pandemic and it's like, you know, serious. And it kept going, like, and after like about a month of it, I just thought, this is like, there's so many inconsistencies coming up.
Yeah.
And I just like, they cancelled my trip to the Philippines to go and see my kids and my wife the day before. And then like, I was just looking into it and like, and it was just so much inconsistencies, like, and then like, I just prayed and I said, God, just show me the truth. And then I stopped looking. And then like, out of the blue, someone that never ever sent me any message, you know, from a fellowship I go to, they sent me a text message saying, here, have a look at this. So I watched it and I'm like, okay. And it just kept coming, like, a lot of people go, oh, you know, like that's the algorithm, you know. Mate, I don't just like search for what I want and then, or just look at people that are on my like friends list that have similar interests. I go and click on random people and then click on a comment that's made somewhere and then like click on one of their friends who looks interesting and then scroll down their page and then I'll click a video that they put. That's how I find stuff sometimes, you know. And yeah, like I just kind of kept investigating and then like realised that 98%, you know, less flu cases that year. The CDC was saying, like, putting it out that out of the like at the time when it was like 6 months or whatever, 300,000 people had died. They said only like 6% of those died from COVID.
Yeah.
The rest died with COVID.
Yeah.
And then like I heard other people like talking and saying they'd put in freedom of information requests.
Yeah.
And those freedom of information requests came back that the government had not been able to isolate and prove that COVID exists. It's got the same symptoms as the flu. There's 98% less flu cases. Seems to me like, it spreads the same way as the flu. Then why have we got the flu and why haven't we got the flu but we've got COVID? People are like, oh, we're washing hands and wear masks and we're isolating. If that's the case, it's stopping the spread of the flu. It should be stopping the spread of COVID. You can't say, oh, but it's like more viral or whatever. Either the masks work or they don't, which they don't. That's been proven. You can go and look that up. Same as like the masks. Like you put a carbon monoxide or carbon monoxide or dioxide, whatever we breathe out. Can't think of it. But we put a carbon monoxide tester inside a mask and it just goes through the roof. Toxic, mate, toxic levels. Killing everyone's brain cells. Like giving everyone like the sicknesses that people are getting like just from the masks. I reckon that Dr. Fauci did he did what do you call it? Like a paper on the Spanish flu. And he reckons that the majority of people that died in the Spanish flu died from wearing the mask due to bacterial infections. And then all this other stuff, like, I just kept researching it, looking into it, and I was convinced early on that there was no novel coronavirus. It was just the flu or a cough. And then later on down the track, like, months and months ago, there was a PhD virologist, immunologist in America who tested the flawed PCR tests. Those tests, the guy that made those PCR tests, he said, you can't use this device to test diagnosis because you can find whatever you want with it. You just keep recycling and do more than 32 cycles or whatever and you'll be able to isolate whatever you want out of the human body. We've got heaps of bacteria and viruses.
I've heard stuff like that,
It's flawed. It doesn't test. Anyway, so these guys tested 1,500 PCR tests that tested positive for COVID. They put them into 7 different universities in America, like Harvard and whatever they were, like the list there. And they came back, all 1,500 PCR tests came back positive for influenza A or they won't do it.
It's more about the TV show, I guess,
Eh?
It's more about the TV show.
What do you mean?
Just have the TV show and that's it. Don't go beyond the competition.
They won't make covenants. Like if they want to be famous, then you got to sign this contract, and you got to do what we tell you, and you got to make a covenant to sell your soul. Do shit that you're not really willing to do. There's a good video of what's his name? Bob Dylan. Video online, you'll probably be able to find it pretty easy. Bob Dylan, and he's like, I'm just doing what I got to do, like to keep up my end of the bargain.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah,
like from 60 Minutes or something.
Maybe. Where he basically says, like I made a bargain, like I'm keeping my end of the bargain. Like, who'd you make it with? He's like, chief and commander of this world and the one to come or something. Like I don't know whether that confused me. Like when he said that, actually, like in this world and the one to come. So either he thinks Satan's in control in the next world. That's what these Luciferians, they think that Satan is God, he's the good guy, and the God of creation, he is the evil one who enslaves humanity and trapped us in this 3D world in a human body, and we were free spiritual beings and all that. They got it all backwards. The other one we're fucking on the So what happens is it starts to break down and it starts to struggle.
Oh, you finished that up.
Yeah, I should have said it extra hot.
Yeah, that's alright.
Normally do.
I really want a cigarette. Do you want to just go over here, away from the paper?
Yeah, I'll stay here. Is that cool?
Is that alright? You don't
come back? Yeah,
yeah, you can't stop here. Oh, we can stay here for a bit. Hey? You can stay here for a bit.
Yeah, go and have a smoke, come back, yeah.
No, it's alright, I'll stay here. Sure? Yeah, it's alright.
I don't know. It's too much. My back is just too much pain.
I was gonna, because I wasn't expecting the traffic to be so heavy. I was gonna have fun. So I can wait a few minutes.
You what?
I can wait a few minutes.
No, it's
yeah, I know.
Where I've got Madison Park, there's like
I suppose I can stand up.
nearly a kilometre there, there's like half a kilometre, then there's nearly a kilometre on top there. It's just over 2 kilometres around. It's too long.
So what other books do you recommend and all that? What other books do you recommend?
Walk the short, run the long, walk the short. So it'll all right.
I don't know, like, I think I might have had ADHD when I was at school. It was like about year 9 or whatever, they came out with ADHD thing back when I was a kid. And I just thought, yeah, I've got that. I don't concentrate in class clown. I might have read a few books in kindergarten, first class, second class, maybe that were that big, you know what I mean? But as far as like reading novels and that for like classes and school assignments, I never read them. I just read a page here and then read the end and then write a report. It's bullshit and make it all about the last page or whatever I could read in the middle. So I haven't really read like heaps of books. Mostly the Christian books that I've read. The Bait of Satan, that was a good one. So like that was just another proof to me. And they still can't isolate it, mate. Like honestly, here it is here. Somebody like just shared my post just yesterday. I was there, and there's one. That's just one of the Freedom of Information requests to our government. Many people have sent them in, and people have sent them in all across the world to the governments. The onus is on them. They're saying there is this virus, so why can't they prove that it exists by scientific evidence?
That's a good point. I haven't heard of that.
I can send you a couple of them. They're different people. Like the name's crossed out on that one. There's another one I've got from another woman that's not crossed out. She's not scared to put her name out there. But like, they should be able to show that it exists.
Right, yeah, that's true, yeah.
There's a $10 million reward for anyone who can show that COVID exists.
Who's giving that award out?
Jamie McIntyre.
Okay, yeah. That's cool, I haven't heard of that,
Yeah. There's $1 million, like a guy's put up $1 million for anyone that can prove that the Earth's globe.
Yeah.
It's not flat.
I've heard of that, yeah.
I saw that one the other day. I mean, like, mate, they tell us that the Earth is spinning, rotating on its axis,
like that,
on an angle like that, and it's rotating on its axis at 1,000 miles an hour. That's faster than the speed of sound. Right? Then they say that we're revolving around the sun
at the same time,
at 67,000 miles an hour. Right? 1,000 miles an hour is faster than the speed of sound. 67,000 miles an hour, that's pretty quick. Then we're going actually through the universe. Our galaxy is moving through the universe at over 1.3 million miles an hour.
Yeah, that's a new one. Yeah.
1.3 million miles an hour. But every time you look up every night in the sky, the stars are exactly the same stars. The perspective haven't changed, and we're travelling 24 million kilometres a day. We're moving, and we're going 67,000 miles that way. Yet there's no change in perspective. For 6,000 years since they all have along 4,000, whenever they map the sky and they map the constellations, they're exactly the same. The stars, if you look at the North Star in the sky, all the stars form a perfect circle and they all go around the North Star in the middle. They all rotate around the North Star. You can Google that, YouTube it. Still shots or like the North Star. There's plenty of people that film that. So like, if we're moving that fast and we're going 1,000,000 miles an hour that way, why are the stars just going like that perfectly every night in the same position? Then there's no change in perspective at all.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's good.
Does it? If we didn't know any better, like, you know, like people build those rock things and they balance rocks, and they balance all these rocks like precariously on each other. Have you seen them?
No.
No?
Oh, I know. I've seen this. I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen videos.
Well, like, I mean, like, mate, there's no way that we're moving at those speeds. There's like other like scientific proofs that like prove that it's not true as well. Can't think of the names of them, but mate, there's so much evidence that the Earth is flat, and there's so little evidence, if any evidence, that the Earth's a globe. Like, can't find anything that proves that it's a globe. All the stuff there. I mean, that's the craziest one. Like, people mock and laugh because they just like me. They go like, "Are you stupid?"
Yeah.
We've been so brainwashed. You know the picture like of like see the Paramount. What's the one that has the like globe as their like Universal. Yeah. From 1927 they had that. Yeah. Right. Now, you look at the globe picture that they've shown us from space, which is like fake, because there is no space. They didn't go to the moon. You can look into that. There's no way that happened. So that picture of the globe with like all the countries on there, it's exactly the same as the globe map they're showing us the picture from space. How do they know that in 1927? They've never seen the Earth from space. But
that's a good point.
It's identical.
Yeah.
You can put it side by side and it's like identical.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I don't know. How do they know that, mate? They didn't know that because they don't know. It's just bullshit. Yeah. Absolute crap. Like all the pictures that are NASA pictures are just CGI. And like you can go and look it up, mate. You can go and get like the pictures and tear them apart yourself with like. They put different filters on, and then you can see that they've like put an image in there. You know what I mean? Once you take off the filters and like put it into like different, you'd know more about it than me. Different like black and white or ultraviolet, and you know that shows up different things on there in the picture. You can see like clearly they're all fake. Even the guy that bloody made them, he's like come out and said, "Yeah, I was the artist that did all that. I did that." You've got people like that Neil deGrasse or whatever his name is, that scientist saying that the Earth. Everyone's saying it's like the picture is a globe, like a perfect marble shape. It's perfect. It's a perfect circle. How do you get a perfect circle? All these planets and everything from an explosion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They're perfect, mate. They form perfect circles. And then he says, "Oh, it's the Earth. It's not really a globe. It's a spheroid. It's kind of more like a pear shape because of like it's spinning so fast. It like bulges out a bit, you know. Which is it?
Yeah, I haven't heard him talk about. I know who he is, but I haven't heard him.
He says it, mate. He goes like it's actually like really, it's like a spheroid.
Yeah, there you go. It's random.
Yeah, so I read the Bait of Satan. I've read a book by Joyce Meyer called The Battlefield of the Mind. That was really good. And I've read a few books like one on Warren, what was his name? He like got caught for a big drug deal. Warren Fields, prison, and he like just talked about his whole ordeal, being in Thai prison for like 20 years or whatever it was. Long time ago I read that though. Pardon me.
So I thought they were coming.
Mostly, just reading the Bible, bro. Really good book I read once, Revelation Unveiled. That was awesome. I've listened to like quite a few books. I just bought them on, Audible. It's easier to listen to books for me than to read them, just listen to them these days. So, Signature in the Cell, that's really good. Like if you listen to that book or read that book, it's clearly evident like there's no evolution there. Cells full of information that it's like the blueprint that creates a human, or the genome that creates like a dog or whatever it is, living thing. So like where did the information come from? In the cell. And like the information, I think I've said it before last time, information is intangible. It's a story. It's like intangible. So how can it evolve?
Don't know, man.
You can't evolve unless you can't. No, like you take wolves, and then like from wolves you can breed all these other dogs, and we've got all the breeds of dogs that we've got. But like they're still dogs. They're all dogs. And like when you get to a sort of a Chihuahua or like a Great Dane or whatever like breeds that we've got, you can never like make 2 Chihuahuas, breed them back to Great Dane size. Because they've lost all that DNA information. They've been like taking dogs that are like smaller and smaller and breeding with other dogs that are smaller. So, you can't get new information, and it only destroys information when you've got a genetic mutation. No genetic mutation like creates new information code. It's like if you've got if you have a code in a computer, and if you take some of the code out, the program's not going to work. It destroys that computer program. It's exactly the same. If you take out letters out of the genome, 3 billion letters, destroys it. Doesn't make it better. Anyway.
We're filming over the park the other day.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about combining this footage with that too. So I'm still having issues with the distribution things. So
Say that again.
I'm having issues with a couple of accounts that I've got to promote the movie. So I'm waiting for that to sort.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
excuse me 1 second, my missus, bro.
Yeah.
Mate, even like that moon landing, that Stanley Kubrick, on his deathbed, he confessed that he made the moon landing footage in the studios in Hollywood.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Or Disney or whatever. Yeah, there's heaps of footage of it. Like you can see that he was there in with the astronauts on the set. What were they doing there?
I've heard that.
Yeah, there's plenty of evidence that totally shows that that's fake. All the NASA stuff's fake. I mean, how can they lose the thousands of rolls of film and everything of the original footage of the moon landing, all the telemetry? They lost everything. Apparently, they can't find it. It's pretty funny, isn't it?
I've heard the Stanley Kubrick stuff. Yeah,
man. You can see the NASA footage where they show them in the space station. Good example is they've got the girls and their hair's standing up as if it's floating up, but it's hair sprayed in, mate. When they get them to do a backflip, can you do a backflip? They do a backflip and they're upside down and their hair still stays upside down perfect because it's sprayed in with hairspray. Whereas when they're on the zero gravity in an aeroplane filming footage of it to make out like they're in space. They just let the plane drop and it creates zero gravity. Their hair's just all flowing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when they're on the space station, some footage, it's like sticking up. It's just like, you can see the actual cables, mate. They slow footage down, and you can see the cables that are hooked on them when they're like there. And like, they use so they put they put in like contact lenses, these high-tech contact lenses, and they use like some, I can't think of the name of what it is. So they're actually like grabbing onto something like a cup, and the cup's not there, but they see it on their contact lenses, and they grab a cup and then they let go of the microphone and it floats. Like that's how the microphone's floating. It's actually like done with like, I don't know. Oh, okay.
They separate like truthful info to.
Yeah, if you want like that, I mean anyone can go onto my Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, facebook.com/Johnny.Grech, Grech, Johnny.Grech. Or you can go to visionaryrevolutionary.com. There's heaps of stuff I post there on visionaryrevolutionary.com. That's like connected to a Facebook page anyway, like so it's a free, like I just forward that domain name to it. And anyone can search and find this stuff if they want. People just don't seem, like I was talking to like someone before I came here, and they're like, they just don't want to know. They're just been thinking like positive, it's going to be alright, you know. I don't know. I can't see it, mate. Like the banks collapsed like about 3 days ago or whatever it was. Like for a while.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, they all went offline. You know, week or two before that, then you got JBS, I think it is JBS Meats, largest manufacturer of like meat company in the world. They were like shut down due to like an internet or like hacking or whatever it was. You know, a few months before that, you've got the World Economic Forum posting a video saying like there's going to be like this global attack on the internet. It's going to be worse than the coronavirus. Shut down the whole internet. That's what I think they're planning. Like because of their fraud, the money fraud that these bankers have done, where like you know they're basically like got everyone's money, like the gold in the beginning, and they wrote paper notes. And then the people like were using paper notes, and they thought, well, we've got all this gold in our safe. We should start lending the gold out and making it at interest, you know. But then nobody wanted the gold; they just wanted the paper money, so they just started writing notes, you know, and then started printing their own money basically, and they've done that ever since at usury. So like interest. If you put $1 million out in the system and say, you know, at the end of the year, 1.1 million's got to be paid back, there's only 1 million out there. 1.1 million can't be paid back. So like people are going to get caught out. They refinance and on it's gone. People can't pay back their loans. People were like, there's no money, not enough money in the system. And yeah, so then they like just now they just make it up and put a number on a computer and bang into your account, and then they're not doing anything. There's nothing to back it, and they're getting paid interest, making us slaves. You know. And like that all ties into the birth certificate fraud. You know, this.
What's that? I haven't heard of that.
It's called like the straw man. So like your birth certificate, it's got capital letters for your surname. Same as your license. If you look on your license, your surname's in capital letters. Yeah. So what that denotes is like a fictional character.
Yeah.
It's a fictional character in a court of law because it's a different language. That's actually like a different language. Capital letters is called Dog Latin. So if you go to the Styles Guide, that tells you what like each different country is. Capital letters is it's called Dog Latin. I don't know if you can see my license. My surname's capital letters.
Do you want that on camera? Or?
Oh yeah, but not, I suppose.
No, yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah. But anyway, it's capital. You can look on it. Anyone can look on their own license, on their own birth certificate, capital letters. So when you go to a court of law and they say, "Are you such and such?" and then if you say, "Yeah, that's me," you're basically saying you're a fictional character. because like that's what they've done. When your mum signed the birth certificate, she signed you over to the corporation, corporate entity. So it's very deep. Like I think I've explained it before, but I don't know. But like it's all to do with maritime law and the Roman Empire and Admiralty law, and so all the waterways. When you get to the land, the roadways and like that come off from the boat ramps and whatever, they're actually the roadways are considered to be waterways. So the police they operate under Admiralty law, and so do the courts, and also they operate under contract law. So if you don't like come into contract with them, like how can they can't fine you, they can't do anything if you don't contract with them. Anyway, so like you, with all the like terminology they use and trickery they use, I think what's the word? I can't think of the word. But the way they trick you with words. So like when you are birthed, it's the same as birthing a ship. So when you come down the canal, another water term, your mum's canal. When the water breaks, the water comes out the canal, and you come down the canal. You are birthed. The dock, when you dock a ship, you birth a ship. You're docked. Doctor like signs you and births you to the corporation. So you become a citizen. You get your citizenship. You become part of their ship. And when you're part of their ship, you're part of their cargo. So you're just like cargo to them. You're like a commodity. And they trade us on the stock market. And so if you go to a court of law, you can't have a document that's got two different languages on it in court. It's got to be all one language. Otherwise, one thing's like, I think, obsolete kind of, and the other one stands or whatever. But it is a corporate thing like that. If you're in a court of law and you say like, yeah, that's me, you're saying that you're a dead entity. You're a part of their corporation, and you have no rights then. So if you're in a court of law, there's plenty of people like you can look online that go into courts of law, and they'll like challenge the judge and say, you know, like that's not me. I'm not that person. I'm a living man. Is what you want to be. You don't want to be a person. You want to be a living man or woman. And bloody judges end up walking out the courtroom.
Yeah, I've seen a couple. Like,
I just watched one yesterday.
Yeah, I saw this one. He said he was like a mountain man, like taking food, and so he's a natural living being searching out for food or something.
They can't charge you make you pay a gun license and all this. If you don't like contract with them and you know your rights, they can't make you like get a license, pay for registration. When you register a car, you're like signing your car over to them. They own your car basically. In law, that's why they can come and take your car and like crush it because they own it. You know, they own everything basically, or they will do. That's their plan for 2025. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.